It's the conference finals. We get you set for game one between the Oilers and the Stars right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Excited, nervous, scared? You tell me. It is the Oil Stream with Tom Gazzola, live on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Great to be back here on location. YouTube Trev holding things down back at EST Global HQ. And Matt Kassian will be joining us a little bit later on from his satellite studios in Sherwood Park. We'll also be touching base with Derek Van Diest from NHL.com all the way from Dallas as we get you tuned up for what should be a phenomenal game between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Oh, this is going to be a slobber knocker of a series, and it's going to be phenomenal to witness. We weren't sure if they would get here, but they did, prevailing in Game 7 against the Vancouver Canucks. So let's go enjoy the ride, Oil Country. Of course, GCL Diesel, the proud presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. Check them out, gcldiesel.com. Of course, join the conversation. Get at us in the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube, and of course, via the text line 780-218-9999. I'm going to throw out the question of the night. We're going to get to YouTube Trev right away here. Question of the night is this: who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers in this series? Or maybe you want to talk about the Stars getting an unlikely hero. We want to hear from you. Who will rise as an unlikely hero in this series? Oilers, Stars, you tell us, and why. Tell us what happens. I want full-on scenarios. All right, get YouTube Trev on here. Trev, you doing good? You're nervous? You happy? You scared?
We good? Can you hear me, Tommy?
I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
Oh, okay, sweet.
All right.
No, we're buzzing right now, Tommy. I'm
okay.
I'm not nervous at all. I don't know why.
Good.
The nerves have just kind of gone away from me. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing because
that is a good thing.
I'm nervous. The Oilers have been losing. I'm not nervous right now, so maybe that's a win. I don't know, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. This is a very, very exciting series for me. These are two teams I thoroughly enjoy watching. So yeah, it's good. The vibes are good. I'm loving it. I can't wait to set the game up for all the nasties, and I can't wait for post game as well. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, it's I love it. The Final Four, Tommy. Like that's pretty impressive. It is, right? Like it is. So yeah, as far as the question of the night goes, who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers in this series? Yeah, apparently I'm coming in pretty quiet.
Crank it up, big boy.
I'm max right now. Okay, I might have to. Yeah. Okay. Let me know. Is that a little bit better? I'll yell. I'll yell a little bit louder here. But I'm thinking of two players. There's two players that I'd like to see potentially just really bring up their game. One is Warren Foegele for the Oilers. He's one player. I think he's starting to find his game a little bit more. Personally, that's what I'm still okay. Wait. Apparently my mic's very quiet, Tommy.
Okay.
So
in the meantime, you fix your mic.
Okay, sounds
I'm going to do
good.
this. I saw this from Dean Belanger in the nasty chat. What's up, Dean? Says Tommy has a working man look today. Well, the Oilers are going to have to put in some work against the Dallas Stars, not only tonight, but in this series. Fergie's prostate is here. He showed up before I did. Kudos to Fergie. Cheers to him. And he said, first one's on me. And he also called this the Drayton Valley dinner jacket. That's Fergie who called it that. I thought it was good. Waitress Jade approved, and then also Fergie sent one of these bad boys over. And to kick off the third round, a cheers to Fergie, who sent this over my way. Thank you, Ben, new bartender here, and Jeff, who sprinkled some bucks on Manchester United. He wanted Awanek to know that. The payout, if they win in regulation, I believe was it 900? Something like that. So he's got big bucks on there. He sprinkled some cash on Man U, and I know that Awanek can appreciate that. Hey, Fergie. Cheers, big boy. Thank you, sir. He's giving me the thumbs up. Didn't give me the middle finger, thankfully. Usually he gives me the middle finger on the way out. Let's go, Oil Country. We're starting things off right. The Oilers back in the conference finals. Second time in 3 years. Same for the Dallas Stars. Actually, back-to-back years for the Stars. Knocking off the Colorado Avalanche, who beat the Oilers 2 years ago. And then, of course, the Stars falling last year to the eventual Cup champion, Vegas Golden Knights. So there's this little thing happening, a bit of a musical chairs in the Western Conference between these three teams, and then mix in the Vegas Golden Knights as well. As the lobbyist says, Ottawa Red Blacks look. Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit of a lumberjack, urban lumberjack. We've got another one that looks like a picnic table kind of cover. I call that one the Urban Farmer, but that one's still is low in the drawer. This one I like. So we're good to go. Trev, you want to test your mic out, or are you good? You want me to keep rambling away? Because I can do that.
Yeah, let's see.
Night.
How's it coming in now?
Is that better? Did you fix it?
The audio levels look better from what I'm seeing, but yeah, let's see in the nasty chat. Let me know. That would be awesome. But as I was saying, two players I'd really like to see, start getting their game going. And I found it in Warren Foegele. That's one player that I kind of predicted coming into those playoffs. I was like, yeah, he could be potentially a Fernando Pisani kind of like player. I like.
Hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't happened at all. Okay, we're getting much better. Okay, let's go. I love hearing that. So yeah, I'd really like to see him step up his game. I think he's getting a lot closer. I think. He's coming off of a career year. We're starting to see the Warren Foegele that we got so used to seeing this regular season, where he did pot 20 goals. So expecting a little bit more from him maybe. But and then another player, Darnell Nurse, I'd like to see him step up his game. He's been fairly quiet for the most part, and looking at his numbers in the last series, they weren't that good, Tommy. He was a minus, I think it was a -8 he finished with in that series. So I'd like to see him, maybe chip in a little bit offensively and just be a little bit more steady on the back end, find some chemistry with Vinny Desharnais. Those are two players that I'd like to see bring up their game a little bit.
Okay, I like that. That's well said, YouTube Trev. Well said. Don't give it the shrug. You did good. That was a great answer to the question of the night. So the question of the night, if you're just tuning in, if you're driving maybe downtown, heading to the Moss Pit or the Fan Park or the beer tent, what is it? The hockey house, Molson Hockey House there, text us, 780-218-9999. If you're watching, you can also text us or you can get into the nasty chat. Question of the night, who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers, maybe for the Stars? We want to hear from you. Let us know. I don't think this is an unlikely hero, but it's a guy that's kind of been on the rise. So I think Dylan Holloway can have an impact. I'm not going to Peter Klima Connor Brown anymore after he missed that breakaway in Game 7. I'm just going to leave that one. So I'll say Dylan Holloway can rise. And listen, he's on the up and up. He has been excellent in this postseason with whatever minutes he's gotten. Has not made a lot of mistakes, but maybe he continues to build confidence. One guy that has risen for the Dallas Stars has been Wyatt Johnston, but for the Oilers, in the question of the night, I think we could see, hello, VR Montenegro in the house, Rip City Step in the house, joining Fergie's Prostate. Look at the nasty showing up. I love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I think that Dylan Holloway could be the guy. So question of the night, who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Stars in the series or the Oilers? We put the focus on the Oilers. Let us know your thoughts. DVD, Derek Van Diest, joining us in about 5 minutes from NHL.com, Western Canadian correspondent. He is in Dallas and will give us the scoop on the Oilers and the Stars. Let's go into lineups now for the Oil. They're sticking with the lineup that got the job done against Vancouver in Game 7. And that means Connor McDavid will be centering Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. VR Montenegro's got a fresh Hyman jersey on, home jersey if you're asking. Draisaitl between Holloway and Kane. Ryan McLeod, who needs to be better. Not an unsung hero, not a rising, just needs to be better. That's it. Be better, be more effective, be more positive with your output towards your team. Don't cough up pucks, and he knows that. He'll be centering Warren Foegele and Derek Ryan, and then the fourth line, which has been effective. Sam Carrick with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. Of course, Janmark, the former star in the bubble days. On defense for the Oilers, Ekholm with Bouchard. Bouchard has been a beast. So too has Ekholm. Nurse, who you heard Trev talking about, needs to pick up his game. He's paired up with Vinny Desharnais. Brett Kulak, who I chatted with yesterday on the Rink Report. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It was a lot of fun. He's a great guy to chat with. It gives you some decent insight. Doesn't hold back. Good kid from Stony Plain area. He will be paired up with Cody Ceci, Mr. Game 7. And then out for the Oilers, Adam Henrique, still day-to-day, lower body, not quite ready, but he was moving well yesterday in practice. And we are expecting to see him at some point in this series, which is excellent, especially if he can push off and move. If it was an ankle injury and now it's healed up, he can be a good, effective player, versatile, obviously, and chip in with some offense. So we'll see if Adam Henrique can make his way back into the lineup maybe by next game. If not, then when the series returns home for Game 3. No Perry, no Stetcher, no Sam Gagner. As for the Dallas Stars, Wyatt Johnston having himself a little bit of a nice run in the postseason. He's centering Jason Robertson and Logan Stankoven. Matt Duchene centering Mason Marchment and Joe Pavelski. Of course, Duchene providing the heartbreaker for the Colorado Avalanche against his old team in Game 6. Tyler Seguin between Jamie Benn and Evgeny Dodonov. That is a pretty damn good third line, if you ask me. Some veterans with some Stanley Cup pedigree and have been through the postseason and the rigors of it. Indeed, a good line. That is the depth that the Stars do possess. Sam Steele on the fourth line with Radek Faksa and Craig Smith. Good veterans there. And Sam Steele, local guy, still young in his career, but is turning himself into more of a two-way player. Was known, obviously, for his offense, especially during his junior days, and that was the hope in Anaheim. And then he has reinvented himself as a penalty killer and a checker, which is excellent. Good to see another local product playing well in the National Hockey League. So Steele between Faksa and Craig Smith. On defense for the Dallas Stars, look out for these guys, Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen, an absolute beast, a great defenseman, and Thomas Harley, no slouch either. He has put together a nice little run this year. Second pairing, Esa Lindell with Chris Tanev. Lots of praise for Chris Tanev. Obviously, when he was with the Flames, built his reputation up as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Obviously does not possess a lot of teeth, and that is because he is willing to sacrifice all parts of his body for his team to win battles and making sure that pucks don't get towards his net. And Chris Tanev has been instrumental on the back end for the Dallas Stars. He's paired up with Esa Lindell. Third pairing, I want to give special mention to this guy, Alex Petrovic, a good Northside boy. He is back in the NHL. He's paired up with Ryan Suter, longtime defenseman in the NHL. And Alex Petch, as we like to call him, grew up with my brother, and very happy for him to see him being utilized in the NHL, sticking with it, playing in the AHL almost exclusively the last 5 years since he was a member of the Oilers on those really bad teams. In, 18-19, he came over here, and it basically sorted his career, which is unfortunate. And that was the Oilers during 17-18 and 18-19. But Petch is back, baby, and he's playing with Ryan Suter. So nice to see. If you're an Oiler fan, you say, that's great, Petch, but they want to beat you. So Rope Hintz out for the Dallas Stars, upper body issue. Yanni Hakanpää, that's why Alex Petrovic is in. He is dealing with a lower body issue, is Hakanpää. No Ty Dellandrea and no Nils Lundqvist tonight. That brings us to starting goalies for the Edmonton Oilers. It was 25-year-old Stuart Skinner, who is 7-3 on the season, 287 goals against average, 881 save percentage, one shutout in 10 playoff games this postseason, lifetime in the playoffs. Skinner, a 12-9 record, 329 GAA, 882 save percentage with a shutout in those 22 games in the playoffs over the course of his career. Those numbers not particularly great, but he's got time to work on that. He can do it starting today against the Dallas Stars as this series gets set to get kicked off. And we'll see if Stu Skinner can come up big for the Oil, because the guy at the other end of the rink is pretty darn good himself. It is Jake Ottinger, the 25-year-old, 8-5 with a 209 goals against average, 918 save percentage at 13 playoff games in the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. And then Ottinger, 21-18 lifetime in the postseason, 245 goals against average, 918 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 41 games over the course of his young career. So there you go. Starting lineups and starting netminders getting you set for game 1 of this Western Conference final between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. First time these two teams meet in the playoffs since 2003. when the Stars knocked off Edmonton in 6 games. Edmonton had a 2-1 series lead, and then the Stars ran away with it with 3 straight wins. Edmonton 1-5 lifetime versus the Stars in the postseason. The 97 playoffs is the last time the Oilers knocked off Dallas in the postseason. Oh my goodness. How long ago was that? 27 years ago? Yeah. Yeah, quite a while ago. And a guy who remembers that is Derek Van Diest. He's coming up right away. But first, I should mention portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch up with Dusty Nielsen, Yukon Jack, and Scott McCord every morning during the weekdays. And then tune into Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon, Monday to Friday. DVD from NHL.com, ready to go from American Airlines Center. There he is, looking confused and dapper, happy to be with us. DVD, you remember 97, right? That was a long time ago, but the Oilers knocked off the Stars in that one, and then the Stars beat them in 5 straight playoff series, minus 2002. That didn't happen in 2002.
Yeah, no, I remember that very well. And actually, it was funny. I did a story on talking to Todd Marchand about the big goal he scored. So we had it up on our site a couple of days ago. He remembers it well. I was a college student in journalism school, and we are watching that game with friends and yelling and screaming at the TV. And when Todd Marchand got a breakaway, it's funny because he'd missed a lot of breakaways. He was so fast. He was so fast, and he would get so many breakaways, and it was like, got to a point where you're like, come on, Todd, score a goal or dump the puck in a corner, save everyone the aggravation. He went in on that breakaway and he sniped it. And I remember everyone went crazy because, to be honest, the Oilers were young. They had no business being in that series with that team. They just got a great goaltending performance by Cujo. He was lights out, outstanding. The Oilers came up with a huge upset. There was a huge upset at the time, but I remember that series very well. But that was the first, and then they started playing Dallas, seeming like every year they were playing Dallas, and then they just couldn't get past Dallas. So these teams are very familiar with each other. The rivalry between them and Dallas. Mark Spector saying hi, by the way.
Oh, hello, Spec. What's up? Good to see you. Down at AAC in Dallas, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Joining us now, West Coast reporter for the league's website. And DVD, let's just get your thoughts on Game 7 and how the Oilers managed to get their way back into the Western Conference Final. I mean, that was a roller coaster ride of a series. I'm assuming you anticipate it being the same way in this Stars series here. But what did you make of Game 7, and what can you glean from Edmonton as a team under pressure?
Well, Game 7, I'm going to use a word that Bob Stauffer likes to use a lot. It was a microcosm of the series, Game 7 was, because Game 7 was essentially a domination by the Edmonton Oilers. Dominated the first, dominated the second. They were cruising. They were in control. Everything was over. The fans were going to start filing out, and then they get a break. Canucks score on a bad mistake by Ryan McLeod, and then they score a second, and all of a sudden everything starts to unravel. To me, that's what the series was like. That series shouldn't have gone 7. It shouldn't have gone to the point it did. The Oilers threw away Game 1. They're up 4-1. They're cruising. 1 bad goal gets in, 2 bad goals, 3 bad goals. They end up losing that game 5-4. They should have won Game 3 when they outshot Vancouver 45-18. I didn't think they bared down enough in front of the net. Their goaltender played well, but you take 45 shots. You need to score more than, what was it, 3 goals, 2 goals, whatever they scored. They need to score more than that. Dominated Game 5, they ran out of gas. Dominated Game 6, dominated Game 7. They're not going to dominate that way against the Dallas Stars. They're not going to outshoot the Dallas Stars 45-18. They're not going to control long stretches of the game against the Dallas Stars. This is going to be more even. It's going to be more back and forth. So I think they're prepared for that. You can't make mistakes against this hockey team. Mistakes against this hockey team will end up in the back of your net. So they have to really take care of the puck, be better with the puck, be careful with those, cross ice, backhand, floating passes, because they'll come back and they'll stick them in the net. And I think that's one thing that the Oilers really have to be careful of. And I'm sure they went through all the video and looked at that. Get the puck in the zone. The Oilers are a good cycle team. They can cycle the puck against this team because they don't have big, strong defensemen. They have quick, fast, really good defensemen, but they're not the physical brutes that they were for Vancouver. So you're going to get rebound opportunities. You're going to get chances in front of the net. But Dallas is a team that can skate. They can get up and down the ice. And so that's going to be present a different challenge than the Vancouver Canucks did to the Edmonton Oilers.
DVD, I asked Brett Kulak yesterday before the team headed off to Dallas how different this group is compared to the one that went to the conference final against Colorado a couple of years ago. Obviously, they didn't win any of those games, swept in 4. Avs were a juggernaut on their way to a Stanley Cup. But he said that there was like experiences that they had gone through that makes them quite different from that team in 2022. When you hear that from him and from other guys, and you're talking to them every day, in your opinion, how much different? Why are they different? Do you agree with the guys when they describe how different they are compared to the team in 2022?
Well, for one, they're 2 years older, 2 years better, 2 years faster. Like you look at the core of the Oilers group, they're in their prime. Like right now, this is their window, right? This is they're in their wheelhouse is right now. You know, they're 26, 27, 28, 29 years old, and Nuge is 30. So they're right there. And I think that's a little different. And then since then, they've played, I guess, what are we, 4 playoff series since that? They've had to come back from battle about 3-2 down, right? They've had a tough playoff series against Vegas. They've learned from their mistakes against LA. They have to come back and battle back against Vegas. They're a more playoff hardened team than they were 4 years ago. And Darnell Nurse spoke about that. Leon Draisaitl spoke about that when we asked him about that yesterday. They're better prepared. They're more of a playoff savvy team than they were back then. I think back then they were just kind of happy to be there. They're like, look at us. This is our first step. We're happy to be here. We're gonna, take our best shot, and then the following year it's gonna be a progression. I think now they feel they belong here. They feel that they can take that next step to the Stanley Cup final. They know they're going to play a very good opponent, but I think it's a little different mentality when you're just happy to be there as opposed to when you feel you belong there and you should be there and you were chosen to be there. And now it's just a matter of ringing the bell and taking the next step.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us now from Dallas as we get you set for game 1 of this Western Conference final between the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. DVD, your sense of the mood around the Dallas Stars, because you're talking to the opposition all playoffs long. You're in that room listening to the Stars. Obviously, they're holding the press conferences. The league has taken over. It's a little bit different scenario than it was in rounds 1 and 2 for the setup media-wise, but what is the mood you're picking up on from the Dallas Stars? What are you hearing a lot of from their side of things when it comes to their game right now? And what have you seen watching them when you've had a chance?
Well, they're a confident team. They just beat the last 2 champions. You remember that movie? You remember that movie? I think it was Beer Fest when someone asked, the American asked, hey, you guys are good drinkers. You guys consider yourself good drinkers to the Germans? They're like, yeah, we just beat the Irish. Like, they're good drinkers, right?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing. It's like, you guys consider yourself a good time? Yeah, we just beat Vegas and we just beat Colorado, the last 2 champions. So they consider themselves a good team, and they are a good hockey team. And they're loaded with talent, and they're loaded with experience. Like, they got, 3 guys with over 1,000 games on that team. They just got a ton of experience on that team. A lot of savvy. Those guys have logged a lot of miles. They played a lot of hockey. But saying that, they also have a bunch of young kids on that team that are going to be the core of this team for the next 10 years. They have those kids, and those kids are getting huge playoff experience, and they're getting huge contributions from those kids. And it's one of those things that maybe they don't know any better. They don't know they're not supposed to jump in the league at 19, 20, 21, 22 and make these kind of contributions, but they're doing that. So somehow between the veteran old guys and the young guys, they're kind of melding it all together and making it work. And you're telling that they knocked off the 2 defending champions, 2 very, very good teams in the Vegas Golden Knights and Colorado Avalanche. A lot of people were picking the Avalanche to go all the way, and they kind of dismantled that team. So they really exposed them for what they were. So this is a very, very good hockey team. You don't get to the Final Four without being a very good hockey team, but they've been a very good team all season long. They finished first in the Central, which was probably the toughest division in hockey, with them and Colorado and Winnipeg. There was a tough division to get to that Central division. Nashville's in there as well. So it was, they're playing hard games every night, and that really kind of hardens you when you get to the playoff time. And these guys know what they're doing. They've been around. They know what they're doing. And I think, we're going to see some big performances from the kids because they've been playing well. But I think this veteran savvy team is going to come up, and they're going to try and find a way to win this series.
Hey, you know what? You bring up the fact that they've knocked off the 2 Stanley Cup champions from the last couple of years, and that is a huge feather in their cap, and they deserve to put it in there. Absolutely. Has anyone, or what would you say to those that might suggest that, A, the Golden Knights ran out of steam because that was something. Remember when Vegas came through Edmonton? That was something that their media was telling us, and they were tired and this and that, and they were showing the effects of playing so much hockey over the last couple of years. And I think that there is merit to that. I really do. But that was something we started to hear a lot more of from Vegas late in the season, and then obviously into the postseason. And then with the Colorado Avalanche, if people were to look at the Avs and go, well, they lost Nichushkin mid-series, and their goalie, they hate that guy, and like that's why they lost to Dallas. Like, has that popped up? And if people suggested that to you, much like they might say about the Oilers getting past Vancouver, well, no Thatcher Demko, Brock Besser, that blood clot go to the game 7. They're so unlucky, right? And then the LA Kings being the LA Kings, people might discount the Oilers. Like, has anyone made that statement in regard to the Stars, and what would you tell them if they did?
Well, not really. I think they every team has its issues. Every team has a problem going in. And I think you can only beat the teams they put in front of you. Like, you can't say, well, we'd rather not play these guys because they don't have this player, they don't have this player, their goalie's not very good. You play the teams that just you're in front of you and that you have to beat and you have to contend with. And that's what they did. And I don't think, to me, all that stuff after you beat a team, they're just excuses. That's all that is. It's excuses from other teams. Oh, we don't. Well, we didn't have this. We didn't have this. We didn't have this guy. You play the game. It's the same for everybody. Their breaks go back and forth both ways. So I think, no, there's no talk of that. They beat Colorado. They beat Vegas. Whatever Vegas and Colorado put on the table, they were the two defending champions. And you got to knock off. When you're the defending champions, someone's got to beat you. Got to knock off because it's tough to do. And they did it. And they defeated Colorado as well. Mm-hmm. So whatever issues they had, they weren't able to overcome. That's not the fault of the Dallas Stars.
Derek Van Diest joining us from NHL.com. Game 1, Oilers Stars, Western Conference Final. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Big thank you to everyone who's tuning in. Maybe you're on your way to Ice District. You can text us 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching, nasty chat, do your thing. DVD when it comes to Pete DeBoer and the effect that he can have on his team and the success that he has had getting to a lot of conference finals, has been to the big dance a couple of times, has not won it as the head coach. What do you make of the coaching matchup and then Pete DeBoer and the difference that he might be able to make for his group?
Well, he's a great coach. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, when you get to here, you have to be a great coach to get to this situation over and over and over and over and over again. And I think the fact is, like, this is going to be a really interesting matchup for Chris Knoblauch. Knoblauch's a very good coach as well, but he's a rookie, and he admitted, he's like, I don't know, this is the first time I've been through this, so I don't know what's going on type thing. Like, he's done playoffs before at different levels, but I don't think he's gone to this playoff at this level. But Pete DeBoer is an exceptional hockey coach, and he reads the game so well, and he tries to get the most out of his side, and he'll be a tough guy to match wits with, and especially at home there when he has the last change and he can dictate the matchups and things like that. And the one thing about teams that Pete DeBoer coaches is they don't take a lot of penalties. They play on that edge, but they don't cross it. And I think that's the big thing. We talked to him yesterday about his penalty kill and how it's under 70%. It's not a great penalty kill, but they've only taken 26 penalties. They don't spend a lot of time in the box. He goes, you don't spend a lot of time in the box, you don't have to worry about penalty killing. So, that's one of the things that we talked about with Pete DeBoer.
That's through 13 games this postseason, so just 2 penalties per game. Very disciplined team. If you're the Oilers, you're going to have to move your butt to cause some power plays for yourselves. All right, DVD, give us a sense of Dallas and how it is buzzing about the playoffs, NBA and NHL. Are they going crazy about the Stars, or are the Mavs completely overtaking all the headlines over there? What's your read on that right now?
They're going crazy over everything. The Rangers won the World Series, so he started with there, right? So they won the World Series, so that got the town going. This is a big basketball town. They love their Mavs here. They're in the Final Four. They're very excited about the game last night. They were able to pull it out. So now there's excitement about the Dallas Stars, and I think there's not a lot of crossover in my opinion. Like, there's basketball fans and hockey fans. They're not all, there's a bit of a crossover, but if you're either, I've talked to a lot of people here that were excited about the Mavs and didn't realize the Stars when they were in the playoffs as well. and there's a there's a really good fan base here when it comes to hockey. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys, they run their show here, but it's a great fan base when it comes to hockey. So, I think there is a lot of excitement here.
Okay, last one for you. It is the question of the night. I know Matt Kassian is standing by, but DVD, I want to get you on the question of the night. Also, to our audience, text us or get in the nasty chat, 780-218-9999. Question of the night, who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers or the Stars in this series? Let us know your thoughts, and I'll ask Derek, who do you think will rise as an unlikely hero? Maybe just one, or from both teams? DVD, go for it.
Well, that's a good question. Unlike you hear, the Oilers have gotten so many contributions from so many players, and I do think Matthias Ekholm is going to have a big series for the Oilers. He's going to have to be the monster that he is defensively, because if he has a good series, he's going to be, going to play a big part in keeping those guys at bay. And if you can keep the Dallas Stars, I think, within under 3 goals or under, I think the Oilers will win this series. Even though Jake Ottinger's in net at the other side, I think you got to keep them under 2 or 3. They win the series. If it gets a bit more than that, then I think the Oilers are going to struggle. But this Dallas Stars team is a team that can score. They can get up and down the ice, as we said. So they got to play well defensively. And if Matthias Ekholm does what Matthias Ekholm has been doing in the playoffs, I think that's going to be a big thing for the Edmonton Oilers.
And then who do you have for the Stars? Alex Petrovic?
I think Jason Robertson's going to have a big series too. I think he's a talented player. He's kind of had a breakout party last year in his playoff, and I think this year he's kind of like Stuart Skinner. Okay, a bit more experienced. I know what this is like. I know what this show is like, and I think he's going to have a big series as well.
Hey, DVD, thank you for the time tonight. Nothing fun happens in Dallas. It is not a great city full of all kinds of wonderful things. So just stick to talking hockey, because that's all there is to do. I'm kidding. It is a great place. Buddy, thank you for the time. Enjoy the game, and we'll catch up with you soon, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. Go Cowboys, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Great stuff from DVD. Matt Kassian is standing by. We're going to get him on here right away. I want to get a couple of texts first. Question of the night. I'll throw it out there one more time. We do want to hear from you. Who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers in this series, or the Stars? And let us know your thoughts. Tom Gazzola, live on location, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall at Bourbon Street. There goes Fergie. Cheers, Fergie. Thanks for the beverage. And Matty Kassian at his satellite studios. YouTube Trev holding things down. Back at EST Global HQ. Let's go to Big Uke says, third round, let's go. Oilers need to embrace the quote-unquote underdog status. Play hard, play smart, put pucks on net. Also, let's...
Skill issue.
Go. That's the wrong one. Hang on. I've got it here. I've got it. Let's go, says Big Uke. Top Cheese texting in says, game 1 tonight, boys. Top Cheese is key to the series. 1, win the special teams battle. 2, steal a game, Skinner. 3, limit Dallas's depth scoring. Let's go, Oilers. What are your thoughts? Top Cheese, we will get to those shortly. Safety Bob chiming in. Safety Bob says, just got off work, put on the best show in town. Oil Street pregame. Yes, Safety Bob. If we get production from the Oilers' third line, get decent, not superior, decent tending, Oilers take the series in 6. Drop the puck. LG says, Safety Bob. All right, let's get him on here. Make sure he's unmuted. Yep, he's good to go. Matty Kassian. Good evening, sir. Sorry about the delay. We were a little bit behind there, but Cass, you look calm, cool, and collected, and you know Texas very, very well.
I do.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Dallas and how boring it is.
It's super boring, horrible city. Never go there. Don't go to Austin either. Don't go to Houston. Just stay away from Texas. It's not fun. San Antonio is not fun either. Not a good place to go ever.
Yeah, no, you didn't spend any time there or marry a girl from there and have family down there or anything like that.
No, and it's no fun. Yeah, visiting is no fun. Being there is no fun. It's just no fun. It's horrible, awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
No.
I mean, I like DVD definitely shouldn't go to Lupe Tortilla and get the beef fajitas. Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't get the queso from there as well with the house margarita. That would be a horrible idea. It's disgusting. I don't know why anyone would do that. Definitely not go to Capitol Grill and get their ribeye.
I go to Trulux. I know you like Capitol Grill, but I love Trulux, Cass.
I haven't been there.
There he is. We got you, baby.
Yeah, that's old microphone.
No, we got it figured out.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah,
Trulux is
wouldn't I
great.
go? I mean, I wouldn't go to the gun range and go have some fun there because that's never fun.
What about the Katy Ice House? Don't go there.
No, don't go there either. Yeah, don't go to Six Flags and ride the roller coasters. That's no fun.
Right.
It is nothing. There's nothing fun there. Nothing good.
No.
Nothing good in Dallas. There's no good barbecue spots. So there's horrible food. No good taco trucks and just
nobody's
awful.
Friendly.
No one's friendly. The service is horrible. People are mean. People are mean. Like you walk up to order something and it's like, no, they are mean. They are super mean down there.
It's not like they're polite or anything.
No.
And super nice and friendly.
No, portion sizes are tiny. You'll never be full ever.
Always hungry.
Yeah.
And prices are ridiculous.
Yeah. Horrible place.
We are being 100% sarcastic. Dallas is a wonderful place. Texas is a neat spot. I love it down there, and I know you do too. So this is going to be a fun series, and I'm very, very jealous of all the reporters that get to go back and forth between good old our town, which is also a fun place, sneaky good, I would say, and Dallas. Oh my God, so many nasties now. Happy's here. Oh baby, there we go. I'm good. It's just a great turnout tonight here at Hudson's Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. All right, Cass, do you want to take a crack at the question of the night really quickly before we get into game changers? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to read it again for everybody?
I'll read it again for sure.
I can just jump into it too. It's up to you.
Go for it.
Okay.
Include the question in your answer.
Include the question in my answer. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but
okay.
I will paraphrase.
Okay, go for it.
Who is going to be for the Edmonton Oilers? Who do they need to be an absolute difference maker in the series? Who do they need
and
to
an unlikely hero? Yes.
Yeah, and knock it out of the park that you don't expect. I like DVD's answer. Like I think Ekholm is good, but to me, it's like he's already been doing that. Like he just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse because I think Darnell. You know he improved when they made the pairing switch and CC as well. Like both that switch was good for both of them. Good for the team as a whole. But I still don't think Darnell. Like he didn't have a game where we were just like, wow, Darnell's on today.
Right.
Wow, Darnell, look at Darnell. Like he's doing everything and he's finishing hits and man, he's just unbeatable today. I don't think I've seen that from him yet. And I think for this team, in order to do that, I think he might be my top answer. Second answer, Ryan McLeod. And I don't think I need to say anything else about Ryan McLeod. Unlikely hero, needs to step up his game. Maybe he does something. That would be fantastic.
780-218-9999. Farmer's here with his lovely wife. We've got Rip City Step, and we've also got where'd they go? VR Montenegro. They snuck off into the back, those sneaky guys. Good to see them showing up here at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall as we go into Game Changers with Matt Kassian, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Number one, Cass. Miro on the wall.
Yeah, this is Miro Heiskanen is a fantastic player. Playing on his offside, the defenseman, has 13 points through 13 games here with the Dallas Stars. Has the ability to hurt you offensively. Will sneak into the rush. I don't want to say it's a ridiculous amount, but more than you would expect. He loves to get in there. Very, very good skater. Very mobile. And one of those players that has the ability to, I think, cause Edmonton some problems over a 7-game series if he's really playing at the level that he would like to play at. Fairly solid defensively or very solid defensively. If he is on his game, he's not as fast as Connor McDavid, but his mobility really helps him, I would say, limit some of those rush chances against that McDavid can generate. He's going to play a lot, going to play a ton. To me, he is the absolute key for the Dallas Stars. If Dallas wants to win this series, Miro Heiskanen has to be good. He has to be playing at his best. Now, we've seen some really good hockey from him so far this playoffs. I would anticipate he's going to keep bringing it. For Edmonton, it's going to be forcing him to turn. It's going to be making it difficult for him to jump into the play. That means finishing your hits. Doesn't have to run him over, but just making sure you're bumping him, slowing him down, making him skate around you to try to get up ice. You have to be aware, back checking into your own zone, shoulder checking by the wingers and the centerman coming back to make sure that you know where everybody is, because he will try to sneak down into that high slot and take advantage of that soft area of the ice if you're not ready for it. I just think Miro Heiskanen, Tom, is a huge key to the series for the Dallas Stars, that they want him going, and for the Edmonton Oilers to limit his offensive ability and to try to challenge him in the offensive zone.
As an extension to Heiskanen, Miro on the wall. Great way to start Game Changers, by the way, Cass. Nicely done today. Thomas Harley, like, maybe he flew under the radar a little bit for some fans that don't keep tabs on the Dallas Stars, but he actually put together a damn good season. I don't know how much you watched of Harley, but from what you glean or what you understand, like, he's not a weak point on this defense, and no. How deadly can he be with Heiskanen being as dangerous as he is? Yeah,
I mean, he's not. I don't think he's as deadly offensively. So typically, and I've watched actually a pretty good amount of Dallas hockey this year. It's not. He's not going to challenge you as much like off the rush, because Heiskanen's doing it, and since they're paired up together, it's like usually one guy goes and the other guy doesn't, and Heiskanen's usually the guy that goes. But when he does, he is dangerous. And so that's where he can catch teams sleeping, because it's like you shoulder check, you're like, Heiskanen, he's there, he's back, I'm fine. And then you don't look over the other shoulder, and it's Thomas Harley that's sneaking down into the zone. So he will jump in. He's really steady. Good first pass. Also fairly mobile, like that pair in general. They move very, very well. But yeah, it flies under the radar a little bit. I would agree with you, but I don't want to say equally as dangerous, because I don't think he's as gifted offensively as Miro Heiskanen, but is also just a very, very good player. Like that top pairing, well, really the top two pairings, both of them are just incredibly solid for the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, Heiskanen, point of game in this postseason. Thomas Harley, if you're going, who the hell are you talking about, Tom and Cass? He had 15 goals, 32 assists this year, 47 points in 79 games. Prior to that, Cass, his career high was in 21-22 when he had a goal and 3 assists in 34 games. Last year, he spent most of the season with the Texas Stars. He played 6 games with Dallas. He had 2 assists in those 6 games, and that was it. And so he's kind of burst onto the scene this year, obviously benefiting from playing with Miro Heiskanen. And he's taking full advantage. He's 22 years old. He's 6'4". He's got some offensive jam. We haven't really seen it in the playoffs, just the 2 assists. But, yeah, that's what makes them a formidable pairing. I'm glad we went into that a little bit because we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot about Miro Heiskanen, first of all, and then Thomas Harley. All right, it's Game Changers. Number 1 was Miro on the wall. Number 2, Cass, threatening power play.
And got to get back to it. Kind of tailed off towards the end of the Vancouver series. The last couple games, a lot of perimeter play. Not as many shots to the net as we'd like. A little bit too cute at times. This is a power play, and we've seen it all year be good, and we saw it the year before be good. It's not like they changed up the personnel all of a sudden, and I still don't think it was like Vancouver all of a sudden discovered the secret sauce to stop the Edmonton power play. I think it was just Edmonton just wasn't executing on the power play. They weren't as good as they needed to be, as they'd like to be, and it made for a tighter series than everyone would have probably enjoyed against the Vancouver Canucks. And it's got to find its wheels again here tonight. The Dallas Stars penalty kill has not been great, and through the playoffs has not been great as well. Now, they're not a team that takes very many penalties, but they're a team that seems to struggle on the penalty kill when they do. And for Edmonton, you have to be thinking, okay, we could get less power play opportunities than we like or that we're used to. But when we get those, we have to be lights out. Like, they have to be aggressive. They have to be intentional. They have to get pucks in the net. And we've talked about it before. I want to see Connor walk off that wall and shoot the puck just once. Just do it once on the first play, on the first power play you get. Open things up a little bit. But, Tommy, that power play has got to execute and be good. If it is, it really is an area where special teams in general for the Edmonton Oilers, where they probably have the advantage. So old agent always told me, when you stick to your guns, basically stick to your guns. And the Edmonton Oilers have a massive, massive gun in their power play. They have the better special teams overall between the two teams. So the power play's got a power play. Like, it's got to be good, Tom. It has to execute if they want to have success in this series.
Hey, Cass, this is an extension of the power play and being more threatening, but you mentioned like taking Connor off the wall and firing one, maybe to throw a curveball at the Stars and maybe some wrinkles that the Oilers incorporate into the power play in this series that they didn't show up against the Kings or show against the Vancouver Canucks. But could you see them mucking some greasy goals in this series, maybe on the power play, maybe 5-on-5, because Dallas isn't as effective in front of its own net the way that the Vancouver Canucks were with their big defensemen?
Maybe. Dallas's defensemen are pretty big. Like, they're not.
I know.
They're not little. Tanev,
they're not small.
Tanev's not. He's 6'2". He plays pretty nasty if you actually watch him.
Yeah.
Eskinen's 6'2". It's not like he's small. Yeah, like it's not. It may not be quite at that level physically, and they might not be as punishing at times as Vancouver's D. But I don't know. I don't know about that, Tommy. In terms of that, their physicality. Now, if you ask me, should or does Edmonton need to do a better job of getting to the front of the net and of being engaged and trying to force those defensemen to defend right in front of their net, to try to box them out, to try to find pucks, to try to clear pucks? Yeah, without question, they need to. They didn't do enough of that against Vancouver in that series. That right. was an area of, you call it contention, or an area that they weren't as good as they could have been or should have been in, was creating some of that chaos in front of the net, not scoring as many greasy goals as you'd like them to score. Tom, that is absolutely an area where they can and hopefully do improve, because again, that's something you need. You need those greasy goals. They need to get it tonight, Tom. They need to get it tonight.
All right. It is Game Changers with Matt Kassian. Game Changers brought to you as always by Damon Bunting. Remax Elite. Number 1, Miro on the wall. Number 2, threatening power play. Number 3, Matt Kassian, in hindsight, or if you want to go with the hard, in hindsight.
In hindsight. Yeah. Well, how can we not talk about Rupe Hintz being out of the lineup? Major player for the Dallas Stars. Fantastic two-way centerman. Fantastic. Same thing. He's not like he's a little guy. Plays well both ends of the ice. He's kind of like I would hesitate to say like a Barkov light at this point, but he's got some similarities to his game.
Right.
But a really, really good two-way player. One that enables Dubois to really, I don't want to say fully roll for, but he has the ability to throw a lot of different lines out there against Connor McDavid. Like he's got trust in a lot of those guys, and Hintz might be the guy that has his trust the best. Now he's going to miss game 1 here. For the Edmonton Oilers, this is a big opportunity. Barring any other injuries or something unforeseen, the Dallas lineup is only going to get better as Rupe at some point comes back in. Big opportunity tonight with him out of the lineup to maybe have a little bit better depth than Dallas in game 1. Maybe it's going to be tight, but huge opportunity with one of the Dallas Stars' best players, Tommy, out of the lineup.
Rupe Hintz through 11 games this postseason, 2 goals, 4 assists, -1 with 6 penalty minutes. We got this text from Roddy, our old pal. Says, hey, boys. Hey, Tommy, can you ask Cass how much of a difference maker Kane can be in this series? That's from our old friend, Roddy. What would you say, Cass, to Roddy?
He has the potential to be, just like he had the potential to be last series. I mean, he's a guy that can be a wild card for you, Tommy, because he can play the physical game, walk that line, drive you crazy, and score goals too. So is the potential there for him to do it? Absolutely. It is. Now he needs to rise to the occasion and do it. And I thought there was moments when he was very good in the Vancouver series, and there's moments when he was a little quieter, just like the whole team. It's not just an Evander Kane thing. But Tommy, he's a guy in that forward group that certainly could be a difference maker. I mean, again, you expect McDavid to do great things. You expect Draisaitl to do great things. And Evander Kane, it's like you expect him to a certain extent, but he's just got that wild card ability where he can just, I don't want to say play outside of himself, but he can just bring that physicality and bring that edge and get to the front of the net and score those gritty, greasy, dirty, grindy type of goals. He has the capacity to do that. And Tom, when he's playing at his best, he's a nightmare to play against. So yes, he absolutely can be a difference maker.
Nice. Roddy, thank you for the question. Appreciate that. Anybody want to fire a text to Cass? Let us know. 780-218-9999. If you want to ask him something, I will pass that along. I think he's watching the Nest. Are you yelling at anybody, Cass?
Not right now. I was.
Okay.
I mean, I'm always yelling at people.
I know. All right. So Oilers and Stars, first time since 2003. What are your memories of this past rivalry? It's obviously not really one, but it could be sparked up again.
Yeah.
And obviously none of what happened between 1997 and 2003 has happened or matters at this point. Decade and a half later, or two decades and a half later.
It matters to my heart. I hated Dallas so much.
Yeah.
I hated, like, Darian Hatcher was like and Ed Belfour, like all those, like, I just hated them. Modano too. And it's funny now because I watch him, like, how Modano was so fun to watch. Like,
he was so good.
Such a great player. But I just, like, he had such perfect teeth. I remember as a kid, and it was just like, it just drove me nuts. I'm like, someone just hit him in the mouth. Like, just cross check him right in the teeth.
Perfect teeth.
Like, as a little kid, that's the thoughts that went through my head. I'm like, just someone just cross-check him right in the teeth. Oh man, the biggest memory, as it is for so many people, is the Todd Marchand goal. Like that breakaway, like that. I just remember absolutely freaking out with that. Was unbelievable. But just the emotions and the, oh my goodness, kind of probably how LA fans feel, like young ones that right now, where it's like, oh, not the Oilers again. It kind of always had that feeling to it, where it's like, you're going to have to go through Dallas, and they were really, really good. And they just played that clutch and grab Hitchcock style. And it just was so frustrating. And you just got beat down as an Oilers fan for a long time. And then you had those little moments like the Marchand goal that were just beautiful. But what a rivalry back then. It was fantastic. I don't know if we'll get to that level again here, but Tom, I can tell you this, it's going to be a fun series.
Hell yeah, it will be. It's funny because Brett Kulak said that he remembers them as well, and he remembers that it also created a bunch of Dallas Stars fans in Edmonton and area, and he would see like lots of Dallas Stars gear and like stuff at people's houses, and he's like, what the heck's going on here? So I have a couple buddies who are Stars fans, and yes, they had some great players. And actually, we had Brian Skrudlin at Hockey Helps the Homeless, who won the Cup with the Stars in '99, and he was great storyteller, and he was part of those teams in Dallas as well. So who knows? Maybe this is going to be the start of a good rivalry, and we'll see what happens. Coaching-wise, Cass, how much of an advantage do you think that Pete DeBoer has over Chris Knoblauch, or does the fact that Knoblauch is going into this fresh as a daisy and doesn't have any like prior knowledge of a NHL Western Conference final behind him matter at all?
Yeah, if I rank things in order of importance, from forwards or 5-on-5 play, defensemen, goaltending, special teams, coaching, if I put everything and I'm like, okay, what's most important, what's least important? Coaching is least important. Sometimes we blow it up to be more than it is. And Knoblauch has talked about this, is the reality is that, the players you have are the players you have at this point. And you're not going to just change everything up. You're playing the Dallas Stars. It's not like, and I've used this example before, it's not like all of a sudden you're going to switch to a 1-3-1 that you've never played before against the Dallas Stars. Like, you're going to tweak things. So there is some onus on the coach. There's onus on the matchups. When are you calling a timeout? What are you saying to your team to calm them down, to build them up if you need to build them up, to fire them up if you need to fire them up? So you have to have a feeling on the pulse of the game, and you do need to prepare your team. This is what they're doing on the penalty kill. This is what they're doing on the power play. But the adjustments are going to be minor. They're, at this point, the adjustments are not major. So I don't look at it from a coaching standpoint and say, oh, you know what, the Dallas Stars and Pete DeBoer have so much more of an advantage than the Edmonton Oilers because of coaching. I'm like, well, that's at the absolute bottom. Like, slight advantage, maybe because he may be less likely to panic He may, have a little bit more gumption to make a big move. But at the same time, that can also be a drawback, because it's like, well, maybe he doesn't have the gumption to make a big move because he did one before and it didn't work. So he's just going to stick to, like, there's so much stuff where I'm just like, I don't know, Tom. Coaching to me is at the bottom of the list for importance in the playoffs. Is it important? Of course it is. But
that's just fine.
I just don't think that's like, ooh, they're, you know what? Let's look at their coach. That's the reason they're going to win. I don't see it.
All right, I have a couple of texts I want to get to. Let's go to Scoobs first. Then there's another question for you, Cass, and I think you'll get a kick out of it.
All right.
Tommy, Cass, being a Stars fan in Edmonton is reflective of poor moral character. It was back then, and it still is now. Scoops, touche. And then let's go to Chris, who says, ask Matt how he drinks his birdie booze, straight or mixed with something. Cass?
Well, I'm not really a birdie juice type of guy. I mean, like, if I'm having something like that, like, I like old fashions, like pretty simple. I just give it to me simple and plain.
You like it simple, straight up.
I don't need a big sugary mix of all kinds of stuff. Just give it to me simple.
It's sugary enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Dusty held up a bottle of it in studio today, and he looked at me and he's like, I mean, this is the brightest bottle of any at the liquor store, right? I'm like, yeah, the blue is nuclear. So yes, and it's delicious. It goes down smooth, and it's only 20%, so it won't knock you off your feet too badly, and it is a delicious beverage. So pick some up, Sobe Safeway liquor stores, and I'm having a 6 o'clocker lager right here at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. It was from Fergie. Cass, usually I wait till post game to have one, but Fergie stopped by, so
we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, great work as we kick off the Western Conference Final, buddy. This is going to be fun.
Yes,
hold
sir.
on to your hat, because and it being Texas versus Alberta, hold on to your cowboy hat, which I don't own. Do you have one? You have one.
Of course I have one.
You have cowboy boots and jean shorts and a cowboy hat, don't you?
I usually don't wear them together. I wouldn't recommend wearing them together, but yeah, you have
That's
them.
a look.
Oh, my wife will do that. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Well, that's fine.
She can do that all she wants. Yeah.
Cass, great work. Buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride. We'll talk to you on the post-game show, pal.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
There you go. There's Matt Kassian, loose and ready for Game 1 between the Oilers and the Stars. It is the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. I am live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. I'm out of GCs. We didn't know what was the plan going forward. Were we going to be here every game or not? We're doing select games, I think about one a week going forward in the postseason with Hudson's. I'll be live on location at White Avenue Hudson's on Monday. But I do have lanyards, and I do have decals and stickers to pass along your way. But good to see the Nasties. Jay and Andrea showed up. Farmer and his wife Monique are here. I saw VR Montenegro. I saw Rip City Step. Fergie's Prostate stopped by. And I know a bunch of Nasties showed up for Game 7 as well, which is fantastic. They have a great staff here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. Steve, Adam, Colby, Eric, Ben, the new bartender, Jeff, the bartender that's been around for a little while. Big Man U fan. Him and Awanik share that, and they chirp Lieutenant Eric all the time. And then Jade's fantastic. Kylie, other Jade. Just a great crew over here, and it's filling up, which is fantastic as well. GCL Diesel, by the way, specializing in giving your diesel engine's heart a second win. We test and remanufacture fuel injectors, pumps, and turbos for a wide range of applications, breathing new life into vital components. YouTube, Trev, you holding up okay over there? You getting excited, nervous?
I am.
Verklempt?
Yeah, no, we're holding up. Everything's great right now, Tommy. I think
right.
I finally was able to get my audio. It's finally good. It's finally good now. So yeah,
it's working okay.
No, it's great.
Right.
I'm excited. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good game. I'm just pumped. Let's get to the puck. Let's get to the puck drop, Tommy.
We're about 30 minutes away from puck drop. And, YouTube Trev's very excited over there. Let's go into the nasty chat before we go to some audio and video. We'll go back earlier in the show. Lots of texts coming in, 7802 and 899. Peter says, Corey Perry. That's his pick for an unlikely hero. We're going to have to wait for Perry to get back into action. He will not play tonight. If you haven't heard, the Oilers lineup remains the same from Game 7. Bad Billy texting in says, Tommy, Oilers are going to come out hard and fast, play just like the Vancouver Game 7, and the first 50 minutes in particular, they will win 4-2. Holloway is going to bust out this series for a few and be the unsung hero. Bad Billy, you and I thinking alike, my friend. This one from Stamphater says, the Ryan McLeod 2024 Revenge Tour. Well, let's see him have a positive impact. Stamphater hasn't happened really so far this postseason. Jason in Leduc says, I think Dylan Holloway will emerge as an unlikely hero. His confidence is growing leaps and bounds since being inserted into the top 6. The fact that his game seems to be leveling up during the playoffs. If he levels up even a little bit, watch out. Thank you, Jason and Leduc. Good to hear from you. Trev Lindy. Trev Lindy says, Lindy bros are on the course listening to the pregame show. All right, boys. Let's go, Oilers. McDavid is going to go supernova on the Stars. Trev Lindy and the Linda Mulder boys. Say hi to everybody. Greg as well. And James. Let's go to Displaced Yukoner. Says, Oilers in 6. The beard will live for at least another 3 weeks. LG, says Displaced Yukoner, which stands for Let's Go. Damn, I guess I better cancel my Texans trip this fall. Norman a combine. No. Happy birthday to Tracy, by the way. Tracy not in a combine. Norm, tell her I said happy birthday. And hopefully it's a good one. And the Oilers can add the cherry on top tonight. Oh, that would have been a great question from RCN. Cass, which city did you think would make for a better NHL home, Houston or low-key Austin? You know what? I think RCN, I'm going to answer this one for Cass. I know he loves Houston. I've been to both. I have not lived in Houston, but I think Austin would be phenomenal for the NHL. Absolutely phenomenal. It's not as big as Houston, but it's awesome. It has a lot of great food, people, art, sports fans. They have the F1 race there. So my pick would be Austin, but I think Cass is a little bit partial to Houston. That's where Mandy's from. But they also go to Oklahoma City a lot because she has family over there. All right. Look, we're going to go inside the Oilers locker room. I'm going to let YouTube Trev pick who we hear from first. What do you want to go, YouTube Trev? Up to you, pal.
Yeah, I've got the Oilers head coach, Chris Knoblauch, all ready. So let's go to him first, Tommy.
All right.
That you can speak up tonight.
No, we'll have the same lineup as we had in Game 7 against Vancouver.
What are the things, the small details you think your penalty kill has really dialed in right now that's letting them operate the way they are?
Well, I think there's a few things. One, the commitment to blocking shots, especially from our defensemen. Another one is just those 4 guys that are on the ice together being playing off their instincts and being quick. Anytime there's a loose puck, they're on attack mode, trying to go get that puck and doing a pretty good job of communicating and clearing that puck. But I think probably the biggest thing is just playing quick, and they're just no hesitation, and everyone's reading off each other.
Go front left to Derek.
Hey, Chris. Just want to ask you about Stuart Skinner and how important that reset you think was to him going forward now. And I know he's a guy who likes to battle through and bounces back, but how important did you think it was to kind of pull him back, sit him down, and then go with him the next?
Well, I think Stu would have found his game whether we continue to play him or give him that reset. So I'm not necessarily think that it's just a result of giving him a couple of days off and he was able to work and practice and think about how he'd been playing. You know, he quite likely would have got to his high level of play no matter what we did. Seen it numerous times before in the regular season, and if there was a dip in his performance, he usually responded and played really very well shortly after. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, you know, from my experience watching Stu through my time here with Edmonton, he's been pretty darn good. He's been a solid goaltender, an almost elite goaltender. So, yeah, I think we've got a lot of confidence in him, and he'll play well for us.
Center left.
Chris, just back here. It's no secret that the last time you guys were here, it didn't go particularly well, but how did that game kind of change your team and reset you guys for the stretch run of the season?
I think it just gave us the opportunity to think we're not quite there. Here we were playing an elite team with Dallas, and I know at the time they were on a very nice roll. They're winning a lot of games, and we came in here and got beat pretty badly. And it allowed us to say that, if we want to compete and play at this high level, there's things that we need to work on. And, I think there's some aspects of our game that did get better. But at this point of the year, you still have to improve and just get better.
Center right, Sean.
As a coach, how do you go about ensuring you get the most out of your team depth in a series that looks like it's going to require that?
Yeah, it's very important. You look at Dallas's lineup, and they got ultimately really no weaknesses. They've got a lot of good hockey players, and the chemistry seems to be working. And it's important that that everyone's contributing. Obviously, usually you can look back at a series or a game, and if you win or lose, it's your best players usually have to be your best players. But over a 7-game series and against a team like Dallas, you just can't rely on those guys. Only the ones bringing it every night. You need everybody. And, I think we took strides. I think we got some steps in that Vancouver series, especially our fourth line playing a lot of key minutes for us in key situations. Going into the series, we're going to need all 4 lines and all 6 defensemen playing really well for us.
Third row on the right, Mark. Go ahead, yeah.
You guys, in that Vancouver series, you kind of fell into that thing where you got really top-heavy for a couple games. And, your team over the years has done that periodically. When you're playing a team that's coming at you with 4 lines, and that's what they've been doing for a long, long time, is it imperative, right? Is going top-heavy like you did against Vancouver not even an option here?
There's going to be games where we rely on those guys more than we, your typical rolling 4 lines. That's not what we're going to do. We're not going to all 4 lines have equal ice time. Some teams have success with that. But when you have your top players as good as they are, you have to put them out in more situations, more ice time, more crucial moments of the game. But to say that they're going to get all those key moments, I don't think that's a recipe for success. We need other guys doing things, and I think we feel confident with everyone the way they're playing right now.
There's Chris Knoblauch. Do you feel confident with everyone and how they're playing right now? Ryan McLeod, perhaps? Do you need more from Warren Fogle? If Corey Perry gets back in, what do you want to see from him? 780-218-9999. And that actually goes into the question of the night pretty nicely. Thank you, Chris Knoblauch, for doing that beautiful segue. Text us. Who will rise as an unlikely hero for the Oilers in this series? Maybe you want to talk about someone who might rise as an unlikely hero for the Stars. We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999 or via the nasty chat. And there was a good one there that I saw from Matt Hyman. Says, Tom, what's your best time in the tree climb? Hilarious. No tree climbing for this guy. My tree climbing days are well behind me. Although, chop wood, carry water? Aha, if anybody catches that reference. What do we got here from Big Uke? Oh, he's tweeting us. Round 3 stock up. I see a bunch of 2 Hoots iced tea. Nicely done. A bottle of Birdie Booze. That's going to go down like a juice box, obviously. And then a bunch of 6 o'clocker lager from Alley Cat. Well done, Big Uke. You, my friend, are a legend. Well done indeed. YouTube Trev. You seeing any texts you like? You want to get to anything? Hello, sir.
Yeah, just browsing right now. Nothing. No, I'm not really seeing anything. A heck of a whole lot. No questions right now, Tommy. So if you have a question, you know what that means. Ask away.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 15 minutes left until puck drop, so feel free.
Yes. I want to get to a couple of texts, and then we're going to go to the Stars side of things. There's someone I I'm completely biased towards that. I do want to play his interview, and we'll get to that shortly. But the Wolf chiming in says, the Wolf is in Dawson, and there is one heck of a fan staying at the hotel with a hockey stick, oil reek, and flags. Won't be able to watch the game, but hope all the nasties are doing well. Ow! From the Wolf. Good to hear from you, the Wolf. He's got his AM Nasty Oilers reverse retro jersey, which is a masterpiece. This one coming in says, Tommy, do you know what was the lowest save percentage in the cap era for a Stanley Cup winning team? I'm wondering where Skinner is compared to the low bar. Not meant to be negative, but we need more from him. I don't know off the top of my head. That is something I would have to look up. Think positively. What do they say? Manifest good thoughts. Manifest positivity. Let's leave that one for later. It has been noted, though. And no, I don't know off the top of my head. Sean says, LOL, the look Cass gave when asked if he has a cowboy hat. That's a clown question, bro. I have to ask. I don't have one. I would never. Well, I don't think I would buy one. Do you have one, Trev? You grew up kind of a little bit country.
I'm not proud of this, but
you do.
I do have one. Yeah.
If you told me you had a fedora and not a cowboy hat, I would be like, get out of here. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I've worn it once, I think. Grandma or my aunt gifted it to me, but
nice.
Yeah, I don't wear it. I literally have only worn it once. I look at
You're from Pincher Creek. You talk about going fishing.
I know.
You would go fishing. You go rock skipping. Like
yeah.
I couldn't do that in Hollow Canyon on the north side of Edmonton.
Yeah, no, it's all my buddies. They go to school. Like I was the only one that didn't. I just wore a regular hat. Everyone's wearing cowboy hats.
Okay.
And I'm just like, what the heck? Yeah, they got cowboy boots, the big buckles and everything. Yeah, that's back home. But I don't know. I look like such a fool wearing a cowboy hat, man. I really do.
I just look like a fool all the time. Don't worry about it, pal. Did you see? Speaking of cowboy hats and all of that, did you see? And I think it was posted a few places. I think even the Oilers Twitter account put it out there. But the guy at the Moss Pit doing like the Ukrainian dancing with the cowboy hat and he had the jersey tucked in and he had the thumbs in the big belt where the buckle was with the cowboy boots.
Oh.
I was like, that was really good. That's how you celebrate. People going around doing the clap in the circle. I'm like, thank you for not beating the living piss out of each other and celebrating with a nice dance from a guy from oil country dressed like a good Berta boy, like he's probably legit. I was like, that's my hometown. That's what I like to see. I'm cool with that.
Definitely saw that one, Tommy. How could I not? That
was great.
I think I seen it on Twitter, Instagram, everything. So it was good. Everyone's just giving Buddy props. It reminded me of back home. So you love to see it. It was nice. And that's not an easy dance move to do. If you know the video we're talking about, like I've tried it and I've failed several times. So he made it look easy. So yeah, props to that guy.
Yeah, nicely done. It's a stark contrast to what we saw from the Vancouver fans who were saying, McDavid, Hyman, this guy, that guy.
Absolutely.
Nicely done.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Now,
we
there
showed
were
some
fights, but yes, good job. Nicely done. I appreciate that. All right, let's go to this guy who also knew Hollow Canyon very well, grew up in Edmonton on the north side, played for the Oilers, may have spent a Christmas or two at the Gazzola household having some delicious libations prepared by either my brother or Reno Gazzola, World Poker Tour player, all of a sudden. It is Alex Petrovic, and yes, I want to hear from him, and this is a feel-good story, and I know Oiler fans probably like, oh, come on, he's a star now, but this is also a tale of adversity, sticking with it, and playing the last 5 years essentially in the AHL and finds himself on the third pairing of the Stars blue line with Ryan Suter. Let's go to young Petch speaking to the media today.
Feeling as you get ready for a playoff game like this, and two, is it different because it's against Edmonton?
One, it's just kind of try to do the same thing as any other game day, and obviously the stakes are higher, but just doing what I can to help the team here, and that's just being ready and just going through my routine and getting mentally prepared for it. And then playing against Edmonton, it's cool. I mean, I played with them for half the season. So it was nice to see some familiar faces over there. It'll be cool to go home for the playoff run as well. But they're a good team. They're fast. They move the puck quick. So just got to be ready.
Do you have family, friends who are Oilers fans?
Yeah, lots.
Lots.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that like? Do you get text messages? Or do they leave you alone because it's a playoff?
I get a lot of text messages, but I'm going to have my family there in Edmonton. No matter what, they're going to come to the games and watch them. I hope to see some friends there too.
What has this process of being called up? You played the one game this year. What have you learned about the team and how you fit in and what they do?
Well, I've been with the organization for 3 years now, so I kind of know what their systems are and everything. Hockey-wise, we kind of ran the same stuff down in Texas with the Texas Stars, so that was easy to kind of transition up there. And it's just kind of know everyone too as well from training camp and the one game I played earlier, so that definitely helps. Just feeling more comfortable every day and talking to the coaches and just that's all it is, just getting comfortable with the day-to-day routine here and everything else goes smoothly.
Thomas gave you some props when you talked about last year. What has that been like trying to help the younger players? And there's some pretty good guys who've gone through Texas and are now here.
It's good. Just seeing those young guys come in, it kind of gives me that youthful energy a little bit. I got some young kids at home that kind of keep me moving too. So, I just like helping those guys with whatever experience I've had in the past, and on ice, off ice. Just passing on my knowledge, and hopefully, if they take a couple things from that, and great. But it's been great to see the top end talent come through, and I kind of pick their brains as well to see what they're doing, and kind of add that to my game as well.
It is tangible. Like Tyler and Jamie have talked about, and Jamie's playing with two young kids on his line most games. You really do feel it. It does give you a jump, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. This new generation of hockey players, they got a motor that doesn't stop. They're always on the ice. They're always getting better. They're always, watching video, looking at little things. So honestly, I'm learning more from them than they are from me. So it's good.
When you're out in overtime or double overtime, does it feel different at all, or are you just playing hockey once you're out there?
In the back of your mind, yeah, it's overtime, but when you're on the ice, you're just thinking about the next play and being in the moment and trying to just stay there. And it was cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking back, that's a great moment in your career. For me watching, I'm going I'm just glad I'm in the building to watch a moment like Matt Duchene scoring. It is neat. It's everything you live for.
Literally, it's just grateful to be able to be put in that position and have that.
All right, there's Alex Petrovic, good Northside boy, getting a second life in his NHL career. We'll see how long it lasts, but did play in that Game 6 where the Stars knocked off the Colorado Avalanche, the one that went into multiple overtime periods. Just good to see him back in the National Hockey League, and you can hear him there talking about family and friends who are big Oiler fans. I know for a fact. I remember when my brother was still working for EdmontonOilers.com and Petch was on the team. My brother was buying a lot of Petrovic jerseys and giving the discount out. So rightly so. Yes, his family, good Oiler fans, but certainly cheering for him as well. They're conflicted, Trev. They're conflicted. That's a tough one. How would you handle that if your cousin, brother was playing for the team, playing against the Oilers in the third round? How would you handle that?
That's that's
a tough one.
Predicament.
I know.
I would
That's a pickle, my friend.
It's family. I think it would be a win-win is what it would be. For me,
Yeah.
if I'd be like, if he went on, I'd be ecstatic. Obviously, I'd be like, let's go.
Right.
That's huge. But if he didn't, I'd probably feel bad, but I'd still be like, okay, this is still sick.
It is, yeah. Double-edged sword, but you're right. You can look at it positively from both sides of it. All right, let's go to some text to wind things down. It's been a fun show. Road Dog Trev says, having to watch this game in a hotel room in Peace River. Road Dog Trevor is ready to watch the boys win game 1. McLovin is going to have a good series. Let's go to the real, not so Slim Shady, who mentions Connor Brown will have a series. I see him potting a few huge goals. Also, was it Iwanik's brother doing the Ukrainian dance? He was doing Ukrainian dance at my wedding and split his pants. Oh, the real, not so Slim Shady. Nicely done. And if Connor Brown elevates to Klima status, that would be very impressive indeed. Matt says, hey, Tommy, I'm worried for everyone's liver if the Oilers make it to the final. Matt, I'm worried for everyone's liver right now. My goodness. Talking to some buddies that own and operate and run bars and restaurants, they're like, I don't know how people are doing it, but it's incredible. Kaiser says, Tommy, looking for an Oil W tonight. Is Holloway on the second line tonight? Yes, he is. That is a good question, Kaiser. Let's go through the starting lineups for the Oilers and the Stars. Good reminder there. McDavid centering Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Holloway and Kane. Ryan McLeod between Warren Fogle and Derek Ryan. Sam Carrick remains in on the fourth line at center between Matthias Janmark, the former Star, and the aforementioned Connor Brown. On defense for the Oilers tonight, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard. Darnell Nurse paired up with Vinny Desharnais, and Brett Kulak with Cody Ceci. Adam Henrique skating, looking better, very close, will play in this series, just not tonight. Lower body issue there. We think it's an ankle. Corey Perry out. Troy Stetcher out. Sam Gagner out. As for the Dallas Stars, Wyatt Johnson having himself a nice postseason between Jason Robertson and Logan Stankoven. Matt Duchene, who put an end to the Avalanche in the second round. He will be centering Mason Marchment and Joe Pavelski. Tyler Seguin centering Jamie Benn and Evgeny Dodonov. That is an experienced, skilled third line. Sam Steele between Radek Faksa and Craig Smith. I'm sure there's a bunch of Sam Steele fans in oil country, his family obviously, and conflicted like those who are family and friends of Alex Petrovic. Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen on the top D pairing for the Stars. Essa Lindell paired up with Chris Tanev, and then Ryan Suter with Mr. Petrovic on the third pair on the back end. If you're like, where the hell's Rope Hintz, Tom? He's out. Upper body issue for Hintz. And then Yanni Hakanpää dealing with the lower body issue. That's why Petrovic is in. Hakanpää injured. No Ty Dellandrea, no Nils Lundqvist for the Stars. Your starting goalies for tonight, Stuart Skinner, 7-3 this postseason, 287 goals against average, 881 save percentage, 1 shutout in 10 playoff games in 2024. All-time Skinner, 12-9 in the postseason, 329 goals against average, 882 save percentage. Not the greatest numbers. Those need to improve with that shutout in 22 career playoff games. And at the other end of the rink, it is 25-year-old Jake Ottinger, 8-5 record, 209 goals against average, 918 save percentage in 13 playoff games. Lifetime Ottinger in the postseason, 21-18, 245 GAA, 918 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 41 career postseason games. There you go. Let's go to a couple of quick texts and then some final thoughts. Stu says, what's the over-under on Kane Petrovic dropping the mitts, Stu? 0%. Petch tried that. It did not go well for him. And then Cal says, Cal has to work tonight, so I'm picking up the slack. A couple of 6 o'clocker loggers. Oh, those delicious yellow and blue and silver bullets ready to go in the tall boy cans. Just $12.99 at Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores until June 30th. Let's get YouTube Trev on here. Are you nervous? Are the butterflies flying in your tummy, or are you good to go? You're all right?
I'm fine, Tommy. I'm not nervous at all. So yeah, I like the Oilers' chances tonight. It's going to be a good one. Not worried at all about the top 6 from both teams. Obviously, the Oilers got the slight edge. Or the big edge, I'd say, but it's the bottom 6 for the Dallas Stars. So I'm intrigued to see how that matchup is. Anytime you got Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, and Dadonov on the third line, against just looking at the Oilers' third line. Yeah, so that's where the worries go. Play like you did. Play like you're on the brink of elimination. Play like you did against Game 7 and Game 6 of the Vancouver Canucks series right from the get-go, every single shift. I'd like it if the Oilers kept, when they have been up, and if they are up in this game going into the third period, they've kind of, they've laid back, they've taken the foot off the pedal, just keep pushing, It's going to be a good one. I'm really excited to see how the Dallas Stars defense matches up with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. It's going to be fascinating to watch. It's going to be a great series, and I can't wait to talk about it in 3 hours here, Tommy.
It's anyone's series. Here we go. It's going to be super fun to talk about it, Trev. I am excited about it, just like you are. The house lights have been turned off. The sexy lights have been illuminated, and they're getting ready for the game here at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Come on down. A bunch of nasties already here. Fantastic as always. Big thank you to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in, text in, whether you listen on iHeartRadio, tune in, or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and of course, which watched us on our EST YouTube channel. The siren says, get the hell off the air, Tom and Trev. It's go time. Oilers Stars Western Conference Finals. First playoff meeting between these two clubs since 2003. Can the Oil do it and punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Final? It all starts tonight. Enjoy Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. See you on the postgame show.